what's the messaging been like? I want to talk a little bit about the team and Tufts and even just the future hopeful Tough rowers that what they can learn about the school as a whole. But before we get to that, you're here in early May. You're coming off of a great year, and what's for you as a head coach, what's the messaging been like to the athletes that to kind of just lead them down this path of, in some ways, a little bit of expectation, but in other ways it's like, hey, like, we're just trying to build and grow as a team, and like, take that wherever you want. But for you as a head coach, for you as a leader of a very large roster who has this kind of, could have this feeling of expectation of, hey, we want to do it again. We're going into, postseason. For you and the other coaches on your staff, like, what's that messaging been like? What have you been trying to get the athletes to think about, to kind of, you know, keep them focused on the goal, but also maybe not get too caught up in the outside factors that they may be throwing on their shoulders that may be weighing them down in terms of like, oh man, we got to go out and get a repeat, this and that. What's that been looking like? Again, take that wherever you want. Long question, but what's that been looking like?
Totally. It's interesting because Tufts is a school that is very high performing. It's a fantastic school, both academically and athletically. And I think it attracts people who want to do things at a really, really high level. And the student athletes that are here, part of why they're here is they want to be successful. They want to succeed in the class. They also really want to give back, and they want to like make the world a better place. But I think sometimes they don't always know how to do that. And I think the initial way to go at it is like meet everything with like intensity and like, again, like structure, but like, put a lot of focus on it, and to have it be super serious maybe is a better word. And I think something we talk about is that like you can take something really seriously and really care about it, but it doesn't mean that it needs to be devoid of joy. And that and that actually the bringing joy and like levity and purpose to it is actually what allows us to do it at a high level. And I think, it's definitely been, we don't really talk, like we talk a lot about our goals as a team, but I think our goals as a team aren't outcome goals. I would say like our goal as a team is to be like the best team possible. And like even one thing we did this year is like that was our goal last year as well, but like we would talk about is like let's be the best team possible, and like what does that look like. And going into this year, one thing I thought about was just trying to do more service. And like there's so many times where we're there together as a team and working on a common project, but it's usually our common project of speed. And I think so this year we started to build a connection with Medford high rowing, which has been great. And the girls team came down and we like took a whole day. We like counted as a day of practice and had them come down, and we did like a 3-part. They did like a core circuit, then they went into the weight room, and it was like a big voluntary just kind of like outreach. And Tufts is actually, we have the Tisch School of Service, and we have someone who works in athletics, who we have 2 civic life representatives who their job is to continue to look for opportunities for our team outside of practice and competition to give back to the community. So we've done other days where we brought the ergs outside, and I feel like, again, those aren't even things that we do on the water, but I feel like those are things that make us a really good team. And like being part of a high performing team is doing all of those things, or like taking care of how you load the trailer and holding those types of standards. And so I think that just that level of care and care for each other, and then also care for other people. Even the jumbos, like the elephant, part of elephants like take care of each other, and it's like part of being in a herd. And that's part of why it's our mascot. But I think that like those types of things are only making us better as a team. And I think that like my goal as a coach is to make them better people, and like the way that we teach those life lessons and make them better people is through trying to do this at a really high level. Like it's not guaranteed, but the pursuit of doing like something at a really high level is so fun. Like we talk about it, especially just being in Boston. I mean, we had the Boston Marathon, and then I mean the Masters wasn't near us, but we also talked about the Masters. I think we draw on a lot of examples of things that are going on around us as well, and like other sports too, and information that we can get from that, because I think sometimes you can get just so caught up in rowing, and there's so many different lessons even from different sports on our own campus, where we're super lucky, where we have really other successful teams who who are trying to do something similar, trying to continually be in the fight at the highest level. And so I think it's really cool to learn from those teams and definitely and follow them. So it's something that we talk about with our team, and being a student of our sport, but also the other sports on campus, and just really seeing what we can learn, because we've also never been in this spot before. But I think trying to just continue to lean into doing the small things and really having care in your craft, and in rowing, and being part of a team. And I think obviously we have big goals and big dreams, but like what we're doing right now, like being in the thick of it, and like even right now, like this week, the preparation for the championship, like this is where all the lessons happen, and like where all the important things go on, right? That's just like one day. So I think that's just a lot of the stuff that we really value, especially this year. Because I think we could have come in and been really like, we want to, like, we definitely want to continue to be successful, but we're going to continue to like refine our craft, find joy in doing something really well with a big group of people, and then seeing where that takes us, right? And then at every point when we go out and compete, it's an opportunity for us to see like, what can we do a little bit better? Where can we make improvements? Do we need the 3V to go up a little bit higher so on the trailer, so we can just have things move just a little bit more efficiently, right? And I think just kind of keeping that focus also ties over into everything we're doing on the water as well.